Hello everyone, before this video starts, I would like to give a great shout out to my wonderful channel members, Levi OC, Jesse HOH, Lightning Rocks, Giratina Gaming, TPPS Official, Skitty Shortcake, Mimicking Stratos, and Plush Anime Game Adventures. Thank you all so much for your extra support. I cannot thank you all enough. You guys really make this whole entire community a better place. I cannot thank you all enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Well, with that said, let's get on with the video. I love Pixar animation studios. Growing up, I was obsessed with this animation studio. I would watch all their movies time and time again, at least the ones I liked. So, obviously, I want to see this studio succeed. And for the most part, they do. They do have a couple of clunky moments here and there with certain films, but no matter what, I love this studio. It's my all-time favorite animation studio. And this is the first studio that really made me truly appreciate film in general. So I do hold Pixar in a very special place in my heart because that is how much this studio means to me and what it's produced for the most part, of course, with the amazing storytelling, the amazing characters, the amazing animation, and of course the emotional moments. Pixar has all that it needs to be successful. And they use that to their advantage for the most part. Like I keep saying, for the most part. But alas, as you may expect, I'm doing a Pixar animation studio movie ranking video. I've officially seen all of the movies, including Toy Story 5, and I'm going to be ranking all 31 of Pixar's animated feature films from the worst to the best. Now, of course, this is my list, and I do have a few hot takes here and there, so you will see that once we get into the list. But, let me know how you would rank the movies in the comment section down below. What's your all-time favorite Pixar movie, and what's your least favorite? I would love to have a whole discussion about Pixar in the comment section because this studio means a lot to me, and I am so excited to do this video. So, without further ado, let's get on with this ranking. I've recently done a Pixar binge, so all of these movies are fresh in my mind. So with that out of the way, let's get on with my ranking of all of Pixar's movies, from the worst to the best.
Come in, Star Command. Star Command, come in. Why don't they answer?
Lightyear is without a doubt Pixar's worst and most disappointing movie they've ever made. I mean, come on, Pixar. How did you stoop so low with this movie? I had so much expectations. I remember when I saw the trailers for this movie, I was so excited. I was so down for a spin-off of Buzz Lightyear, who is, one of the best characters in all of Pixar. And then this movie came out, and I remember my first viewing, I was like, it's pretty good. Then I saw it again, and it was a struggle. It was a struggle to get through it. And then for the third time, I just like it a lot less. And I don't really plan on seeing this movie ever again. It's that bad. I mean, like Pixar, how could you fumble Buzz Lightyear? This is supposed to be the movie that made Andy fall in love with the character. This is Andy's favorite movie. Well, that goes to show he has horrible taste. But yeah, Lightyear is just such a disappointment. Like, the movie is very dull, it's very bland. The animation is great, but that's it. I mean, the way they handle this character, it completely just, it's not great. This is not Buzz Lightyear. This is not the Buzz Lightyear that I want to see. The other characters are an too, and don't even get me started on the Zurg reveal. That was the most stupidest thing Pixar has ever done. And the more that I think about this movie, the more that it pisses me off. No wonder it failed so badly. I mean, come on, Pixar. You really thought that you cooked with this? No. I love you. I love Pixar. But I hate this movie. And this is the one movie that I full-on hate. And that's why it's at the bottom of this list. Congratulations, Lightyear. You ruined Pixar. First the good dinosaur.
And now you.
I wasn't ready for dying that day.
I bit one croc in half, tail whipped the other, and the last one, well, I drowned that croc in my own blood.
The Good Dinosaur is pretty much Pixar's doing landscapes. It's like a test demo, a tech demo, if you will. This isn't really a movie. I mean, it is a movie because it has a story and characters and stuff like that. But, like, that's it. And the story isn't even good. Like, this is probably their most boring movie. It was a struggle to get through this one. I've only seen it twice, and I also did not plan on watching this movie again. You can definitely tell there were some behind the scenes issues with the writing and I guess the directing too. I don't even know if Peter Sohn was originally going to be the director for this movie, but I've heard this movie has had some production issues, and it's very obvious. It shows. And this movie apparently bombed really hard, and Pixar, you did not deliver, especially because this movie came out right after Inside Out, which was a massive hit, right? And then this movie came out. So Pixar, the 2010s was not your decade for sure. This is a clear example of that. But it's not the worst movie. We've already discussed what that movie is. But The Good Dinosaur isn't much better than Lightyear. It's very boring. I don't really care about the characters. And it's just a movie. Like, it's a movie that exists. I can't really say much about it. That's why it's here on this list.
I don't want to get married. I want to stay single and let my hair flow in the wind as I ride through the glen, firing arrows into the sunset.
Brave is another movie that exists, and it's also another movie that suffers with the whole production behind the scenes, unfortunately, because I kid you not, let me tell you this. I don't know if you know about this, but originally this whole movie was going to be directed by the same person who was, behind The Prince of Egypt, which is one of the best animated movies ever. So how did Pixar screw that up, And also, before this whole marathon that I did with Pixar, I would have had this as my worst favorite movie. I hated Brave. There's some bias to that reason because, well, it won Best Animated Feature that year, and it was up against Wreck-It Ralph, which is one of Disney's all-time bests. So, of course, I'm going to have a grudge against Brave. Also, the movie just wasn't very good. But I will admit, after seeing it again after so long, it's slightly better than what I interpreted it as. It's not great. There's definitely some issues. The story's okay. The humor is very Illumination, if that makes any sense. And honestly, out of all of these movies, other than Cars 2, Brave feels like the most Illumination-esque Pixar film, if that makes any sense. And that's not a good sign from Pixar, no less. Merida was pretty annoying here and there. I got annoyed of her throughout the film, so that's not great either. The animation's all right, and that's really it. I mean, they copied Brother Bear, so, and that's not even a great Disney movie. I don't know what else to say. Brave is just an okay movie. It's not the worst movie. I was wrong about that, but it's nowhere near the best, and that's why it's at number 29 on this list.
Hey, Cha-Cha want a cookie? Num num cookie. Cha-Cha want a num num cookie. Cookie.
Another very disappointing movie from Pixar, unfortunately, and that is Incredibles 2. Yes, this movie is not great. It's not great. It's barely even good. I mean, the animation's great, obviously, but you'd think after waiting whole 14 years that we would get another masterpiece like the first Incredibles movie. And unfortunately for us, we don't get that. Incredibles 2 is a subpar sequel, and in my honest opinion, is the worst Pixar sequel, which might be a hot take, but come on. Cars 2 wasn't that disappointing compared to this. Let's be for real. Everything that made the first Incredibles movie great is not here, other than the action, the music, and the animation. But that's it. Those are the only three redeeming qualities of this film. Screenslaver sucks as a villain. I mean, the concept was unique, but the execution was just downright bad. I will say Elastigirl having the spotlight was nice. She was great. She was honestly the only good character in this movie. Also Frozen. Frozen's always cool. But everyone else, just especially Bob, Mr. Incredible, who's probably my favorite character here, and they ruined him. the first movie, he went through all this character development, right? All of that is just thrown away, and he goes to the same thing in this movie. That's definitely a choice. I know someone said it best, but how they put this movie is that they just sent in the first draft and went along with it. That is pretty much Incredibles 2, which should not be the case. And that's why I'm keeping my expectations at minimum for Incredibles 3. But Pixar, you fumbled. 14 years for this. That's not a good sign. And Incredibles 2, honestly, there's nothing like grand to say about it other than the action. But that's it. Yeah, I might have liked it when I first saw it, but I was a kid when I first saw it. So obviously I was going to like it. But after a rewatch, oh boy, Incredibles 2 is a rough ride. And that's why it's at number 28 on this list.
Can we go back to Bonnie now?
Toy Story 4 is quite disappointing, to say the least. It's no bad movie. Not by all means, it's not a bad movie. It's passable. But the more that I think about it, the more that this movie also pisses me off. Originally, I had it ranked a lot higher on this list. But again, thinking about it more, yeah, I had to put it a lot lower on the list. While it doesn't irritate me as much as Incredibles 2 did as a sequel, you know, like, this movie was bound to get hate the moment people found out it was happening, because Toy Story 3 ended perfectly, and then we get this, which, again, it's not a bad movie. And, I mean, the animation is phenomenal. Some of the best animation I've seen in any Pixar movie. But, story-wise, nothing really happens. And, like, take this out of the franchise, nothing much will change. The only things that will change is Woody leaving and I guess Bo Peep. But that's really it, honestly. And like the main cast and characters that we get to know and love in the previous 3 films, yeah, they get sidelined hard in this movie, all except for Buzz, and they dumbed Buzz down for no reason at all. I mean, this is the one Toy Story movie where they had a new director, and it shows. It's not a bad movie, like I said. There are definitely some redeeming qualities. I really liked how they handled Woody's arc in the movie. I've heard that this film was described as like pretty much Woody's movie. It's not really a Toy Story movie. It's a Woody movie. And if you rate it compared to that, then yes, it's genuinely a good movie. But as a Toy Story movie, unfortunately, it does not hit the landing. It doesn't nail it. And it's unfortunate. The ending does get me emotional. Not as emotional as 3's ending, though. And there's nothing really much else to say. The new characters are all right. Duke-a-Boom is a nice character, but the rest are just okay. And again, the side characters get sidelined, unfortunately, and the whole journey is just okay. As Woody's movie, it works and is genuinely good. But as a Toy Story movie, it doesn't hit the same highs as the previous 3, and honestly, just thinking about it just irritates me a little. That's why it's ranked this low on the list.
No, wasabi.
Oh, same old, same old. What's up with you?
I mean, come on. That alone is why this movie should have won Best Picture. Come on. Cars 2 is fun. It's super overhated. Many people say this is the worst movie that Pixar has done, which is objectively true, but I disagree hard. This is a fun movie. I enjoy Cars. And yeah, this is just a fun movie. Turn off your brain for a bit. You're going to have a blast. I mean, I will admit, we did get a little too much Mater in this film, even though he's the main character in this movie. But it's, like once you understand the theme and I guess the message that this movie was trying to come across, it makes sense. And you have to admit, the action is insane. This movie is so over the top. Like, I think this is the one Pixar movie that has the most deaths. Imagine the movie with the most deaths in Pixar is a Cars film. Like, what? Spy cars? It's so over the top. It's insane. I loved this movie as a kid. And at one point I did agree with the haters, but after seeing it again, I'm like, this movie is fun. Those haters, they don't know what they're saying. It's a fun movie. Objectively, it's not great, which is why it's pretty low on the list. But I had a fun time with this, and honestly, if you told me to watch any other movie than Cars 2, chances are I'd probably say Cars 2 if I were to put it on right now, because that's how fun this movie is. And Finn McMissile is the best car in Cars history. Actually, he's second place. He can't top McQueen. But he's the second best car in the Cars franchise. You can argue with the wall. This movie's just over the top insanity, and I love it. It doesn't have a great story, but the animation's great. And if you like Cars 1, you will probably like Cars 2. But overall, Cars 2 is such a fun ride, and that's why it's right here on the list. It's pretty low, even though I'm giving it a lot of more positive points. But hey, it's better than some of the other Pixar movies, so there you go.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I yelled. It wasn't your fault that I almost got killed.
Cars 3 is slightly better than Cars 2 in terms of quality, story, and how they handle the cast of characters. I mean, come on. Like, Cars 2 is fun, but Cars 3 is objectively the Cars sequel that makes sense and that people who love the first Cars probably wanted. Like, this is the first serious Cars film. I mean, like, talking about McQueen retiring, going through midlife crisis and all that stuff. It's been done before with Pixar, The Incredibles, but in this movie, it's really like it's a big thing. It's a big deal. It's crazy to see like someone that you love and admire go through something like this, especially for Cars, which you'd think they wouldn't take this franchise seriously, and then Cars 3 happens. Yes, there are some goofy stuff that happens along the ride, and a few scenes didn't work, and the pacing's a little all over the place. But genuinely, Cars 3 is not as bad as people make out to be. None of the Cars movies are. People who hate Cars, they just hate fun. I guess that's all I have to say. But Cars 3 is pretty good. Like, the racing stuff is back, the whole important aspect of Cars, which is great. And Mater's barely in the movie, which makes sense. And I love the fact that they don't even bring up Cars 2 at all. It's like Cars 2 never happened. It's a Mater's tall tale. I think that theory is correct. But still, Cars 3 was pretty good. I liked the animation jump, I guess. And I liked how they handled McQueen's journey in this film. And I wouldn't mind seeing another Cars movie, but this movie kind of felt like a good conclusion, at least when it comes to movies. So any Cars spin-offs, like shows and stuff, sure. But a Cars 4 would also be pretty sweet. But yeah, Cars 3 is overall decent. Could have been better, but also could have been worse. And that's why it's here on the list. Again, slightly better than Cars 2 in terms of quality. Turning Red is a fun movie, but it is definitely not a movie that was made for me. Although a lot did work for me and a bit of it didn't. Let's start with the positives. I love the animation style. I love how they go above and beyond with the creativity and unique style to this film. It's great. And Mei Lee as a character is awesome, and the characters in general are just pretty good. The story is, it's a little simple, but the fact that this movie also goes over the top like some other Pixar movies, it works. Somehow it does. But I do remember this movie being pretty controversial when it came out. Honestly, a little overhated because it's not bad. Some people think it's downright bad. This movie's not a bad movie. I love when the directors, show their personal story through these films. It's great, and it's just inspiring even. Unfortunately, I think Pixar said they're going to stop doing that, which honestly sucks because some of these movies really work out well. For me, Turning Red didn't, which is unfortunate. But it's overall a very fun movie. I wouldn't call it great. I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. It's fun. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. It's a fun Pixar film that doesn't take itself seriously, which is great, especially for a film from a studio as big as Pixar, Sometimes it's nice to see movies like these. And it's a fun. Like, I can't really say anything bad about it. I will say my favorite part of the film was the whole climax with Fort Town. If you know what I'm saying, then you already know. But yeah, overall, Turning Red's a good film to check out if you want to watch something fun. And that's why it's here on this list.
Schmeegly, Schmarpeep blop.
You learned Elioese?
Elio is another movie that you can tell went through some trouble behind the scenes. But in terms of those types of movies, I would say Elio is the best out of the bunch. Which might be a hot take, because I know the movie flopped hard, and many people don't really like this movie, or just consider it to be fine. Which is what I first thought as well when I first saw this film. It's a shame that it flopped, because after a rewatch, it is good. But I remember some of the headlines were like, this is Pixar's best since Coco, and I was like, so Soul and Luca didn't happen? You know what I'm saying? That was quite the headline, which is very false. But Elio is genuinely a good movie. It's fun. It's a fun movie. It's nothing crazy, nothing over the top. It's not Pixar's best space movie. We'll get to that eventually. But it's fun. It's harmless. You know, the characters are all fun. I like the character designs and stuff like that. What Elio goes through, like, you feel for him, especially that like moment where he's like, I think people just don't want me to even exist, and that's just tough to see, especially for a kid. But I liked the whole story that these characters go through. It was pretty funny. Not the funniest movie, but there were some funny moments, and I liked all the, you know, character progression and how it all ended. It was awesome. It's a good movie. It's not great. Could have been better. There are definitely some pacing issues here and there. But overall, the movie's fun. It's harmless. But of course, it's from a studio like Pixar, so of course it's going to be more criticized because you just expect more from them, which, hey, I can't deny that. But Elio is just a fun movie that I would recommend if you haven't seen it yet. But it's nowhere near the best, and that's why it's here on the list.
Yep. Unforgettable.
Finding Dory is a decent sequel, but the more that I think about it, the less original this movie really is. I mean, it does have its original moments, especially when it comes to Dory. This time it gives Dory the main treatment, but unlike Mater, where it gets a little too exposed, Dory, it doesn't feel like that. Like, her moments, it feels deserved, especially once it all comes together. This is genuinely a good movie. It's not as good as Finding Nemo, because the more that I think about it, it kind of follows the same tropes and the same story. So in terms of originality, it loses a few points. But I did like Hank. He's really the only new character that I liked. The others aren't so fun or so entertaining, I guess. Marlin and Nemo have close to nothing to do, and Marlin really does show his bad side here. But he does make up for it near the end. The animation quality, though, is outstanding. That's the one thing that improves, or got improved from the previous film. But other than that, this movie is it's a decent follow-up. Doesn't do much to harm the franchise, but it doesn't do much to expand upon it either. So it's just a movie that's good, but could be better. At least it's not bad. So it gets some extra points for that. But other than that, Finding Dory is a solid sequel that could have been a little better. And that's why it's here on this list.
Yeah. So, being a ladybug automatically makes me a girl. Is that it, flyboy? Huh? Yeah.
A Bug's Life is genuinely a good movie. Great, even, in some aspects. And it's a shame that no one really brings this movie up, because it's so early on to the point where people even forget about this movie. I mean, it's not its fault that it comes out in between the first two Toy Story movies and then Monsters Inc. and then some. But this is actually a great movie. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. And after I rewatched it, I was like, you know what? This movie is actually great. Better than I thought, or from what I remember. The characters are all fun. I really love the landscapes here. It's awesome. Like, the animation improvement from the first Toy Story to A Bug's Life is crazy. And it's even crazier when you realize that it was only 3 years in between, which is just, wow. Pixar truly upgraded since then, and it's awesome. It's really awesome to see their quality of animation improve over the years. And A Bug's Life is one of the perfect examples of that. But the movie is great. It has great characters. The story is simple, but also great. Hopper is an excellent villain, and it's just a great movie. Great score. I forgot to mention, but pretty much every Pixar movie here has an amazing score. So well done for the composers. But yeah, A Bug's Life is very fun, and it's a shame that it doesn't get brought up as much as certain other Pixar films. But honestly, if you haven't seen this movie, watch it. It's really good. It's a fun movie, and you'll have a good time with it, like I did. And that's why it's here on this list.
And I think with a little bit of magic in your life, you can do almost anything.
Starting the top 20, we have Onward, which at first, before this rewatch, I thought this movie was just okay. But after rewatching it in a bit, I have to say it's more than okay. It's another good movie. This was directed by Dan Scanlon. He's the same guy who did Monsters University, and this was his personal story right here in Onward. And all the emotional moments hit, especially hard for me because I have brothers and I have a brother who I almost consider to be a father figure in my life at certain aspects. So this movie did hit home for me, especially with all those emotional moments that led up to them seeing their father or reuniting with him, being able to say some words that they wanted to say and stuff like that, and truly realizing that even if you don't have a dad, you'll still have a father figure with your bro. It's just, it hit me in the heartstrings. But not just that, the movie is genuinely fun. It's a fun adventure. The characters are fun. The stakes are pretty grand, but it's a fun movie. Like, yes, it's not the best, and there's a few pacing issues and stuff like that, but it's fun. And if you don't take this movie as seriously as other movies, you'll have a fun time with it. And that's how I feel for Onward. It's a fun movie with a great message, which you want to see for Pixar. You love to see it. And that's why I have it here on this list.
Your mother and I will be here. Now with more time for hanky-panky.
Shush.
Elemental is a lot better than what I remember it to be. This is the personal story from director Peter Sohn. And this is the one movie where I'm like, okay, Peter Sohn can actually direct a movie, because this is another great movie, a great original recent Pixar movie, which you love to see, because lately we've been actually doing pretty okay with their original films, and even good for the most part. But Elemental is no different. Elemental is genuinely a great movie. It surprised me because at first, like always, I thought it was decent. After a rewatch, it's a lot more than that. Like, the story is simple, but when it comes to the characters and what they relate to, what they go through, and their personal stories, it's great. Especially the whole immigrant story is just amazing. I love it. It was great, and it really carried this film. The only downside to this movie is the romance part, because this was advertised to be a romance, right? And the romance kind of got rushed in this movie. It's not even Pixar's best movie, and it's the one thing they were supposed to get right. Well, not their best movie, but also not their best, like, romance, if that makes sense. We will get to that eventually. But, it's the movie about romance, but it's not even their best work when it comes to the romance part. But other than that, the movie is genuinely great. I love these character designs. These are amazing designs, and I know it was really difficult for Pixar, but I'm glad that they were able to get through it, because I love the way this movie looks. The animation's great. The two main characters are great, and you're rooting for them. It's an awesome movie. I love Elemental. It's genuinely a great movie, and I wish it gets more love because it deserves it. And that's why it's here on this list.
She thinks you're old because you're bald, Woody.
Toy Story 5 is genuinely a great movie. Yes, it's great. I mean, were we really expecting less? Yes, we were. So at least they cooked with this one. I mean, it's not amazing. It doesn't hit the same highs as 1 through 3, but it's at least better than 4, right, guys? They have Andrew Stanton directing. Can't go wrong with that. He's one of the original people who found Pixar. So it was in the right hands this time around. And also, the concept of toys versus tech is very interesting and intriguing. So, of course, I was already invested with this film. No matter what, it's Toy Story. I love Toy Story. It's one of my all-time favorite things in the world. So, of course, I was going to check this one out. And this time they gave Jessie the spotlight, which is nice. The whole rogue buzzes didn't really work for me until near the end. They were funny, but they really had no plot relevance until the end. And that's all I'm going to say, because this movie just barely came out. So I don't want to give much away, but I did do a whole review on it, just barely. So check my channel out if you want to hear more of my thoughts on this movie. But all I'll say is Toy Story 5 is great. Once you see it, if you love Toy Story in general, you're going to like this one. You might even love it. But at least they did not make a bad Toy Story film. If we count Lightyear, then yes. But if not, at least they didn't make a bad one. And Toy Story 5 is great. I like it, and I think you will too. And that's why it's here on this list.
All right, everyone. Let's try and have a good, clean squish. Beaver, I suggest you leave the vehicle.
Hoppers is so over the top that it's so good. I mean, like, you wouldn't expect something like this to come out of Pixar and for it to turn out so well. It's from the guy who made We Bare Bears, and that show is so much fun and funny, and this is pretty much the same thing. Like, it's so over the top with how crazy it is, and it's so hilarious. This is probably Pixar's one of their funniest movies, definitely. Mabel as a protagonist is great. I love the characters here. King George is my personal favorite. I love the animation styles, a little more quirky, and it works for a movie like this. The message is strong as ever, and the animation quality is just outstanding. Like, Pixar, I want to see more movies like this because this works. It genuinely does. So please keep doing stuff like this. I would love to see more. And Hoppers is genuinely a great movie. If you haven't seen Hoppers yet, you gotta, because not only do you have to support their original stuff, but this is actually genuinely a great movie that you're gonna have a blast with this movie. You definitely will. I really can't think of anything bad to say. I guess like there's a few pacing issues, but that's not even like a bad thing for a movie like this. Hoppers is genuinely a great movie with little to no bad things to say. And that's crazy for a recent Pixar movie, right? So that's awesome. And Hoppers is awesome. And that's why it's here on the list. Slightly better than Toy Story 5. Once I see Toy Story 5 again, we'll see if my opinion change. But yes, I like Hoppers more. So there's that.
Trust me when I say you are not going to want to touch this bad boy. I want to touch it.
Monsters University is great. And I'm not going to take anything else than that. I'm not going to, take anyone who says that it's not, because it is. It's a great movie. It's it's fun. It's very entertaining. I mean, the scare games, come on guys, that was so much fun. And seeing Mike and Sully again is just awesome, and seeing them in college, it's great. It really is. Like, this movie makes me want to go on campus to college. I'm currently enrolled in college, but I'm doing it online. But this movie makes me want to do it, like, get the whole college experience, because honestly, I love this movie. I loved it as a kid. I love it now. And don't even get me started on that whole lake scene. One of Pixar's best scenes, I kid you not. Yes, it's not as funny it's not as funny or entertaining as the first film, and it's overall not as good as the first movie. But if you love the first one, you're going to love this one. This one is so creative, and in terms of expanding the universe, this movie does a phenomenal job at that. It really does. And near the end, the whole climax is just so insane. I kid you not. It's crazy, and I love it. I love this movie. Not as much as Monsters, Inc., but it's great. And I will not mind checking this one out every once in a while because it's such a great movie. I love Monsters University, and that's why it's here on this list.
Nicknames. I'm gonna call you Wee Wee.
No. I don't think it's crazy to say that Inside Out 2 might be Pixar's best sequel outside of the Toy Story sequels, at least two of them. Because Inside Out 2 is genuinely great, and I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I mean, there's a reason why this movie became a success at the box office. Fans of the first movie loved it, and even new ones. I know some people genuinely like this more than the first, and I was one of them until I rewatched Inside Out. You'll see where I place that movie. But Inside Out 2 is a great sequel that doesn't do anything to damage the brand. I mean, it's very similar to the first movie, so in terms of originality, other than the new emotions and what Riley goes through, nothing really new happens. Well, there are some new ideas in, like, the mind. We get to see, like, brainstorm and stuff like that. So some new things are here and there, but when it comes to the story, it's pretty much the same thing, except with more emotions. And let me tell you, anxiety steals the show. Anxiety carries this movie pretty much. The other new emotions don't really do much at all, so that's a shame. It would have been nice to see them do more than just be there. But the animation's great. The story is overall great, but it's more or less the same as the first film. And I just like this movie. At least they gave the other emotions from the first film more to do. other than Sadness, but I do not like Sadness, so I'm glad that we didn't see much of her here. But yeah, this movie's great. It's emotional, not as emotional as the first film, at least to me. It's a little awkward here and there, but that's the whole point because Riley goes through puberty, so that time of anyone's life is just awkward. But yeah, Inside Out 2 is genuinely great. It's a great sequel, and I'm glad that it's getting all the love and praise because it genuinely deserves it. And that's why it's here in this list.
Piacere, trollamo trombetta. It's a human thing. I'm kind of an expert.
I love Luca. This is pretty much Pixar's most Studio Ghibli-esque movie, if that makes sense, because it has such a simple yet creative premise, and it just reminds me of Studio Ghibli movie. Like, if you didn't think this was Pixar, you'd probably think, is this Studio Ghibli? I mean, it's obvious that it's not, but it really does feel like that. Am I the only one who sees this? Luca really feels like it's a movie from Ghibli, and that's great because I love Studio Ghibli, and I love Pixar. So when you combine the two, you get a masterpiece. And while Luca is close to being a masterpiece, it's still a really great movie. I loved it when I first saw it, and I still love it after a rewatch. Alberto and Luca are amazing here. They're some of the best characters. Julia, too. What's his name? Ercole? He's an okay villain, but you're not supposed to take him seriously. I just love this movie. It's very simple. There's practically no story, but it doesn't need one because it's still great. It just puts you in a great mood. That's how great this movie is. It makes me want to go to Italy. I want to go to Italy so bad and try the food there because this movie just makes me want to live in Lucca. Like, if I were to choose a Pixar movie to live in, Luca would probably be my top choice because it just looks so amazing. I would love to be in here. The animation is great. The designs are great. I love it. I love Luca. Who doesn't like Luca, you know? Like, it's not as great as some of Pixar's best, but it's amazing. I think I give it like a 9.5 out of 10. That's how good it is. Luca is amazing, and I love Luca. And it's super underrated. People barely talk about it nowadays, which is sad because it's so good. You got to see Luca if you haven't. It's fantastic, and that's why it's here on this list.
He won 3 piston cups. He did what in his cup?
I love Cars. I was obsessed with this movie growing up, and I had a bunch of toys. I kid you not. I had a bunch of the Cars toys. I would play with them, and I would watch this movie over and over again. That's how obsessed I was with Cars. This movie is my childhood. And you definitely know I will be going to theaters to watch the re-release. You betcha. But Cars is genuinely great. It's a great Pixar movie. People hate on this movie, and I don't even know what they're smoking because Cars is genuinely a great movie. Easily the best of the Cars franchise. Anyone who says otherwise is clearly wrong. I mean, you got the racing here. You got the great story. You have the amazing animation. That scene with, Lightning McQueen and Sally just driving. Mwah, chef's kiss. And don't even get me started on the music. Life is a highway. S tier. This movie is just so good. I will say a bit of the pacing is like a few moments could have been shortened or even cut. I don't think this movie needed to be as long as it was. I think up to this point it was Pixar's longest at that time. So it could have been a little shorter than what it was, but that's really the only complaint I have. The animation is great, the characters are great, and the racing, don't even get me started. That opening sequence is one of the best in all of Pixar. Cars is genuinely such a great feel-good movie, and if you hate it, then I guess you just hate having fun because this movie is so much fun. Who can hate Cars? Like, sure, you can hate Cars 2 or even Cars 3, but you can't hate Cars 1 because Cars 1 is so fucking good. Yes, I cursed because that's how great this movie is. And the fact that there's 12 movies above it just goes to show how amazing Pixar is. But yes, Cars is so good, and that's why it's here on this list.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians, and now you.
Inside Out is such a breathtaking experience. I mean, there's a reason why many consider this to be Pixar's best because it's that good. It's amazing. And during a decade where people thought Pixar might have lost their touch, here comes Inside Out to save the day because that's how amazing this movie is. Originally, I thought this movie was slightly overrated. I mean, the more times I saw it, the less I liked it. But good thing I gave it some time to breathe because after seeing it again, It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. I love this movie. The characters are all great. The fact that Pixar always likes to make us cry, laugh, and feel all these emotions. And now they make a movie about emotions. Only Pixar can think of something like that. Right, guys? Come on. That's how great Pixar is. And this movie is a perfect example of that. They went above and beyond with storytelling, with what the characters go through. And this is, without a doubt, their most emotional movie that they've ever done. And I mean, it's no surprise when it's all about the emotions. It's so good. I love this movie. It's great. It makes you feel so many things. And if you ever are wanting to feel something, then you're going to have to watch Inside Out because that will do it for you. It's that good. And that's why it's here on this list.
Is it H-E double hockey sticks? Hell.
I mean, what is there to say that hasn't already been said about Soul? Soul is just such an experience, such a wild wind. It's Soul. Like, this is truly Pixar's last recent masterpiece. This is up there with the GOATs, with the greats. And you got Pete Docter who did it, who also did Inside Out and Up and Monsters Inc. So you already know you're in for a crazy experience. And Soul is probably his most, like, invigorating film or his most innovative film. The concept of Soul is just mind-blowing. The way this movie is structured in the world building, it's crazy, and only Pete Docter can think of something like that. People are giving him hate now, which is a shame. I mean, yes, he's the CEO of Pixar now. He does make some questionable choices for the future of the company, but when in terms of his movies, he does no wrong. He does no wrong. And Soul is no different. Soul is a masterpiece. The animation, the music, the story, the characters, and that whole scene with that, like with Joe just sitting the piano, truly thinking about, his life and what his role is in this world. It's so beautiful. Like, it just leaves a tear. It makes you think about life. This movie really does. And that's what Pixar does best. And I'm just so glad this movie came out when it did. It came out in 2020 when the world was just, it was breaking. And this is the movie that we truly needed at that time. So thank you, Pixar, for making such a endearing film as Soul. And it's this close to being the top 10. So the fact that it's number 11 just tells you how I feel about the 10 other Pixar movies on this list. But yes, Soul is a masterpiece. If you haven't seen Soul, what are you doing? You gotta see it. It's so good, and that's why it's here on this list.
He's master, got it? I don't want you here, and I don't want you here. I'm stuck with you.
The whole concept of Up is just outstanding. And of course, it's another movie from Pete Docter, who does no wrong. Like, what a decade this was. Pixar truly ruled the 2000s era because they were on a generational run, and Up is a part of that run. It's such a great movie. If you haven't seen Up, what are you doing? This movie's been around for almost 20 years and you haven't seen Up? Watch it. Watch all these Pixar movies. You can skip Lightyear and Brave and Good Dinosaur, but Up is just so good. The characters, the story. Like, I know people say it's just the first 10 minutes that is amazing and the rest of the movie isn't. I disagree hard. I love this movie. It's their most adventurous movie. Like, you feel the adventure. You feel like you're there with the characters. It's awesome. I love this movie. I love the animation. I love the scenes and the music. Don't even get me started on the score. Michael Giacchino is the composer for most of these movies, and he does a phenomenal job in all of them. Even Lightyear. He does a great job with the score there. And it's like, oh my God, it's just two matchups that work perfectly. I love Up. I love the message. It's about letting go. It's a message that we all need to know and realize that eventually we'll get to that point where we really do need to let go of things that are keeping us back from truly living life. And it's so good. If you haven't seen Up, you have to watch it. It's such a masterpiece. Charles Muntz is a great villain, and I love the adventure. I love the story. I love the movie. It's so good from beginning to end, and that's why it's starting the top 10 of this list.
What do you say I get someone else to watch the sheep tonight?
Hell yeah.
Toy Story started it all, and it's still one of their best works that they've ever done. I mean, what can you say negatively about this movie? Other than the animation, I guess. But this is 1995, mind you. This is the first fully CGI 3D animated movie that's ever been made. And it's Toy Story. It's the movie that started Pixar, and it's still keeping them strong 4 movies later. Because, like, it's such a great movie, such a great story, amazing characters. Buzz and Woody still hold as one of the best, greatest duos in all of cinema. And it's Toy Story. This movie got me to love movies in general. I love Toy Story. I've loved it since I was a kid, and I still love it now. I want to see this franchise succeed in every way possible. And this is the start of it. I mean, yes, it was originally my top 5, but now it went down to 9. But that's because there were some other movies I truly appreciated more compared to this. But I still love Toy Story. It's got a great story, great soundtrack, great characters, great everything. It's Toy Story. You can't hate it because it started it all. It started the whole Pixar filmography. And you have to respect it for what it's done for animation in general, in the movie space and in any space. Because Toy Story is one of those legendary films. And that's why it's at number 9 on this list. There's 8 movies I like more than Toy Story. How's this possible?
Coincidence? I think not!
The Incredibles. This movie is just phenomenal. One of the best superhero movies in general. And, like, what's not to like about the movie? I mean, yes, the animation's a little rough, but this is 2004. Come on, guys. Like, and the action, phenomenal. The scenes, the shots, phenomenal. The story, phenomenal. The villain, Syndrome, Pixar's greatest villain to date. And I doubt he'll ever be topped. This is just one of Pixar's greatest movies because it doesn't really feel like a Pixar movie. Like, yes, it has the stuff that makes Pixar great. All their movies in general. Well, the ones that are great anyway. But it's also their darkest film. Like, serious shit goes down in this movie. Like, if you haven't seen the movie, you gotta, because this is a movie that will change your life for the better. It's great. The characters are great. Bob goes through one of the best character developments here, and the sequel ruins everything, unfortunately. But this movie, as a standalone, is amazing. I love it, and I really do hope Incredibles 3 hits the same highs as this one, but I'm not gonna keep my expectations high because, you know, what happened with Incredibles 2. But yes, Incredibles, the first one, is amazing. It's so good. The score, oh my God. I love this movie so much. Everyone does. I don't know if there's anyone who actually hates this movie because there's nothing to hate about it. It's so good. It's a masterpiece. And it's at number 8 on this list.
These markings mean...
Never knew my father!
Come here.
Finding Nemo is such a breathtaking movie from start to end. If you haven't seen this movie, you need to sit down and watch it because it's amazing. The animation is phenomenal and it still holds up to this day. Like, how was Pixar able to do this in 2003? No less. This is why Pixar is the GOAT. Even with their highs and lows, they are the freaking GOAT. The story is just amazing. The characters are amazing. Marlon and Dory. The adventure here is so good. Everything about this movie is great. The message, the score. Oh my God. Like, I want to see this movie again because it's so amazing, outstanding in every way possible. Anyone who hates this movie is just full on wrong. They really are, because this movie is a masterpiece. All the movies I'm about to name and talk about is just, they're so good. They're Pixar. You outdid yourselves here, but there are 6 movies I like more, which is beyond insane. But Finding Nemo is a masterpiece, and it's here on this list.
I had to have faith in my dream. No one was going to hand it to me. It was up to me to reach for that dream, grab it tight, and make it come true.
Coco is amazing. And originally it was my top 4, but there are 2 movies I like slightly more than this movie now. But still, Coco holds up as one of the best And in the 2010 decade, for me, this is their best work. It's up there with the GOATs. It's in my top 6. So that goes to show how much I truly appreciate this movie. I mean, me as a Mexican, obviously, this movie was going to resonate with me a lot more with the culture and the music. But not just that, the movie is just genuinely amazing. It's from Lee Unkrich, the director of Toy Story 3, which we haven't talked about yet. But he does great stuff, and Coco is no different. The story is great. The music is great. While it's not as funny and a few pacing issues here and there, that still doesn't keep me from ranking it any lower because I love Coco to bits. It has one of the most emotional scenes in all of Pixar, and you know what I'm talking about if you've seen this movie. The score is amazing. The twist villain is pretty great, and it's Coco. What is there to say that hasn't already been said? There's a reason why many love this movie still to this day. The fact that it's getting a sequel is beyond me. I don't know why. We'll find out in 2029. But Coco is so good, and you have to watch it if you haven't. It's one of Pixar's best, without a doubt.
Wackadoo. Rat-a-tat-a. Hey, why did they call it that? What? Ratatouille.
There's a reason why many consider Ratatouille to be Pixar's magnum opus, and it shows. Ratatouille is one of the best movies ever made. Not just animation, it's one of the best movies in all of cinema. And come on, looking at this picture, of course, you're probably thinking, what? A movie about a rat and a guy? What? Watch the movie to find out, because Ratatouille will change your life. It's changed mine. This movie is outstanding. As a kid, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but now that I'm more mature, this movie is one of Pixar's best, and I finally realized that. It's in my top 5. It was probably somewhere closer to top 10, but now it's top 5, because that's how amazing this movie is. The animation is spectacular. The score, it just makes you want to go to Paris. It gets that Paris vibe brilliantly correct. And the characters, it's all great. It's all amazing. The animation holds up well, especially for 2007, and the message, anyone can cook, but that can mean so many things for so many people, including myself. It's just amazing. I love this movie so much, and I will rewatch it time and time again because that's how brilliantly made Ratatouille is, and it will change your life for the better, I kid you not. So watch it because it's so good, and it's easily one of Pixar's best.
To be loved a whole life long.
For me, WALL-E is without a doubt Pixar's magnum opus. It's really close between this and Ratatouille, but come on, WALL-E is so spectacular. The animation, the story, the characters. When I said earlier what Pixar's best romance was, it's not Ember and Wade. It's WALL-E and Eve. 2 robots. The fact they were able to make 2 robots share the best romance in all of Pixar, but also one of the best romances in all of cinema, that's just so freaking, hard to believe, right? Andrew Stanton, you outdid yourself with WALL-E, and if it wasn't for my bias with the top 3 movies, WALL-E is without a doubt, objectively speaking, Pixar's best movie ever made. And come on, guys, it's WALL-E. WALL-E is so perfect. There's literally nothing I can complain about this movie because it's so perfect, and I don't even know if Pixar will ever hit this level of quality ever again. They have at certain aspects, but WALL-E is just something special. But again, like I said, I have a personal bias with the top 3, but WALL-E is without a doubt a masterpiece that should be seen by everyone.
It. Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me!
I mean, call me crazy, but Monsters, Inc. is one of the best movies ever made, and I will stand by that because, look at it. I loved this movie as a kid, and I still love it as a 20-year-old man because this movie's just perfect. I mean, the animation quality still holds up for the most part. The story is amazing. The characters are amazing. Mike and Sully are up there as some of the best duos, comedic duos in all of cinema. And this is one of the best movies in all of cinema, and I will stand on that. The comedy is hilarious. This is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And the story is just so original and creative. I mean, the fact this is Pete Docter's first movie, and he was able to come up with all of this. Like, what? The world building is insane. And I love it. It's such a creative way to tell a story about monsters who hide under the bed or but in the closet. You know, it's amazing. I love it. And it's emotional. The ending gets you for sure. It makes you tear up and stuff. And the score is amazing. It's just such a phenomenal movie that I can watch time and time again and never get tired of. And yet it's only a number 3. What are the top 2, I wonder?
So long, partner.
Honestly, the top 2 spots are very interchangeable for me because I had a really tough time deciding which one is going to take the top spot, but I went with my gut. And coming in second place is Toy Story 3. Many consider this to be the most perfect ending in any film, honestly, in any franchise. And honestly, one of Pixar's best movies without a doubt, which is true. Toy Story 3 is such a phenomenal movie, and it was a perfect conclusion to the Toy Story trilogy. It really wrapped up everything nicely. It gave all the characters stuff to do. All the characters were utilized very well, even the side characters, which 4 and 5 honestly kind of failed to do so. 4 especially, but 5, they gave them a little more stuff to do, but not as much. Toy Story 3 did everything right in so many levels. The animation quality was just it just went through the roof because that's how big it was. And Lotso is one of the best antagonists. Come on, guys. He really is. This movie is just, it's perfect. I legit cannot think of anything bad to say about it. And this is the one movie in my marathon that got me this close to actually crying. I know I didn't cry through Up, even though I did as a kid, but this rewatch I wasn't able to. I did tear up, but this was the closest that I was to ever crying, and it was the ending of Toy Story 3 because that ending is perfect and it'll get you to tear up no matter what. The score, everything about this movie is perfect, and I was legit this close to putting it as my number 1 Pixar movie, but I went with my gut, and that spot is going to
Surrender, Buzz Lightyear. I have won.
I'll never give in. You killed my father.
No, Buzz. I am your father.
The movie that carried my childhood was obviously going to take the top spot. Toy Story 2 is without a doubt my all-time favorite Pixar movie. And I mean, what's not to like about Toy Story 2? It expands on the first movie perfectly, and the new characters are all amazing. Jessie, Bullseye, the Prospector's a great villain, and it's so great. Like, it handles every character really well. There is nothing I can say that's negative about Toy Story 2 because it's one of the most perfect movies, and it's one of the most perfect sequels of all time. I mean, can anyone really deny that? There's a certain person I know who doesn't like this movie, but they're clearly wrong because Toy Story 2 is Pixar's best movie, at least to me. You can make an argument for all the movies, but like, I'll just say you're right because if it's as long as it's a great movie, then you can easily make an argument for why it's the best. For me, Toy Story 2 is my all-time favorite. Yes, there's bias because I've seen this so many times growing up, and it's a movie that can never get tired of. I can watch time and time again because that's how good this movie is. Everything, the story, the characters, the emotional moments, Jessie's backstory, it still pulls the heartstrings, and it's so good. I love Toy Story 2, and nothing will change. And I don't think anything will change about this not being my favorite movie of all time. Well, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but for Pixar, it's definitely my number 1. And I mean, can you blame me? It's Toy Story 2. It's perfect. And for me, this is the best Pixar movie. And that is my list. Sorry for this video being so long, but as you can see, I am very passionate when it comes to Pixar movies. At least like 28 of them. No, not 28 of them. Like 26 of them. Because Pixar as a studio, it's not perfect. I want it to be perfect, but it's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nobody is going to be perfect, and that's completely okay. Pixar has taught us that many times. and I stand by it. I love the studio. Through its ups and downs, I'm still going to be supporting Pixar no matter what, because this studio carried my childhood with many of their masterpieces, and I'm still going to be going to see any movie they release till the day I die, because Pixar truly means a lot to me. If you know me, you know I love Pixar. I love talking about Pixar. Whenever someone brings up something Pixar related, I'm going to join that discussion and we're going to have a good time because that's how passionate I feel about Pixar. And I just love Pixar. So I was very looking forward to doing this video. And the next time I watch all the Pixar movies, I'm not going to even watch all of them. I'm not going to bother with Lightyear or Good Dinosaur because I'm already going to know they're going to be in the bottom too. But I want to see this, studio succeed. Even if they don't, that's okay. I'm still going to watch their movies nonetheless because I love Pixar. And if any of you guys share that, love for Pixar, I want to know. Again, let me know what your favorite movies of Pixar are in the comments section because Pixar truly is great. At the end of the day, you have to give them respect for what they've done for cinema and for animation because Pixar truly is one of a kind.